In this episode we leave Pardue Station. We stay one night in Port Hedland just to restock. Then we head through towards Marble Bar, stopping at Coppins Gap Free Camp, then at Karijini Gorge, and then finally making our way towards Karijini. We stayed at Mount Robson Rest Area. These trains going through full of ore. We put a story up of one of them the other day, and a fellow that follows us, Tomo's bird photography, he drives these things, and he was saying that they're 38 to 43,000 tonnes. So just mental, and they can have 4 bloody locomotives driving them.
They're just huge. Like you end up waiting at these intersections, at these railway lines for a good 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I have Canada. But Chelsea's cooking something.
Oh, okay.
So that's Chloe's new caravan that she got yesterday from Kmart.
Hasn't stopped playing with it, has she?
She's had about 5 hours solid of play with it so far. This is Port Hedland Turf Club, so it's a 72-hour free stay. Which is pretty good right in town. I don't really know why towns do this when they're taking business away from the caravan parks in town. Like, why would you stay at the caravan park for $50 a night when you could stay here for nothing? But it's not much, it's just a gravel pit, but it'll do for one night.
Yeah, it's close enough to everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's just one of those tow hitch locks. You normally put it through to stop people from pinching your reese hitch or whatever, but it fits well in the DO35, so that'll slow people down stealing it. The other thing I'll do, because we're like right in town and there's no one else here, just make it a little bit harder for people to steal your stuff. I'll arm this as well. So 2 flashes tell me it's armed, the little red LED tells me it's armed. That's the white eye anti-theft system, so anyone tries to drive away with our van, horns go off, the alarm goes off, the brakes lock on, every light flashes. It makes it very difficult to steal. This was a good little free camp, right in town. It was noisy because you got the train line behind you and the road just there, so there's a bit of road noise. But yeah, you can't complain for a free camp right in town. Anyway, this one you had to contain yourself for your grey water and whatnot, and you'll remember that I converted my grey water tank to a freshwater tank. But that's cool because all I do is I stick a jerry can down there, and I've got some hose that goes straight into the jerry can from where the drains drop out. So this shows you how little water we use. That's half full. So 10 litres of water was 3 showers last night, and we carried 200 litres of water. So Delina Gorge, lots of little camps on the banks of this dried out floodplain or riverbed, whatever it is. And a pool down there is holding a little bit of water underneath this gorge, inside this gorge. Looks pretty nice, but I think we'll push on, have a look at some more stuff. That's an old one, an old tin one, I think. Back when they were brewed and canned in Perth. On the other side of the highway, this one's Coongan Pool. So this one wasn't even signposted, but Tiff's got the waypoint off Wikicamps. Bit of a campsite just on the banks of the river here, but you're kind of on the loop track. Not much room to actually set up. Oh, a couple of rope swings too. Not a bad little spot. It's kind of terraced so you can get down to the water there. Obviously a bit of cattle around here. There's a lot of hoof prints through here where they've been trying to get down to the water. Not a bad spot. If it was later in the day I'd probably stay here, but I think we'll push on and see what else there is to offer. Can always come back. That gap straight ahead is Coppin's Gap. That's where we're heading.
This actually isn't marked on Wikicamps.
Oh, how'd you find this one?
I've just googled it.
Oh, okay.
It comes up in all the tourist brochures.
Yeah.
And it's signposted, but it's not on Wiki.
Did you have to pay to camp at this one?
No, well, I don't know. There's no, because it's not on Wikicamps, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, okay.
But I did see Trip in a Van years ago have camped here, so
Yeah.
it's probably a free camp.
Yeah. Want to come for a walk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Nah, short
Just a
walk.
short one, and there's water.
Maybe. Come have a look, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn my iPod off so it's can't get flat.
Okay.
With
Just-
batteries.
This is the dribble she watches.
Yeah.
Barbie's playing
With the iPad, normally, obviously, you need internet connection to be watching
YouTube.
YouTube.
And it's actually quite hard to get stuff onto
Daddy.
the iPad, other than if you downloaded stuff on iTunes. But there's an app called Player Extreme, and you can upload your own videos, and as long as you've got the video file, like an MP4 or whatever it is, you can upload them.
So you could, theoretically...
But we won't say how we got the MP4s in the first place.
Yeah. But there are YouTube downloaders that you could use out there, I'm just saying that.
But we don't do
We don't do that, but you could do that. So we're in the East Pilbara now, and I don't know if we just got lucky or whatever, or if it's just coming out of the Kimberley and heading south this time of the year. But oh, it's dropped like 10 degrees. You're just about to have a wee, aren't you? Yeah, I thought so. It's dropped about 10 degrees. It was like high 30s up to 40 odd, and quite humid up in the Kimberley, and now we're in the East Pilbara. It's like 31 degrees today. It's beautiful. That's perfect weather, I reckon. 31, 32. Lovely. Yeah, you're going the right way.
Any crocodiles do we want to have a
I
storm?
don't think so.
No, I don't think there's any crocs down here.
Yeah, because I want to see some crocodile teeth in it.
Some crocodile teeth.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in your leg.
No.
Really clear.
Mom, the black goes standing in the water.
So they called Marble Bar because they thought the whole place was full of these bits of marble. But it turns out that this is actually jasper. Not that they were too bothered.
Apparently looks like marble.
Yeah, they weren't too bothered though, because they were here to mine gold anyway, so it wasn't make or break.
That's water,
Yeah, it's water,
not beer.
Wouldn't waste good beer like that.
Woo!
Come on. Lucky enough to be the only ones here tonight. You never know, especially on a Friday not far from town. But this is our view from camp. Coppin's Gap, and in between there there's a little walkway down this way, and that's where that pool was we were swimming in. Really nice little spot. Little fire pit made for us. I've collected a little bit of wood. We'll get that going soon. Gonna cook the girls some dessert on it tonight. Those last few beach camps, I got absolutely smashed by sand fleas. I've got welts all over me. Just in case you're in the same predicament, the only thing that provided me any relief was putting the shower on as hot as it goes, and with the shower I was just holding it on the bites until I couldn't stand it anymore, and that's the only thing that stopped scratching, hey. So yeah, I'm just unlucky. I spend all my time outside and I've been blessed with ginger hair, fair complexion, and I'm a bit of a delicacy to anything that bites.
Meanwhile, I quite enjoy being a little hermit crab, and I don't get any bites. I haven't been as sunburnt as you.
No, you don't get freckles.
No.
Although, interesting, we went to the skin doctor before we left on this trip, and I wanted to get a few like moles and spots and stuff looked at, and Tiff did too. And the skin doc was saying that my complexion and my skin, even with all my freckles and that, I'm less likely to get sun damage than Tiff is.
Skin cancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she said anything over than, was it 100 moles or 150 moles?
I think it was less than that, and your risk is like...
And your risk, yeah, increases of getting skin cancer.
By a heap. I can't remember exactly how much.
Yeah. Interesting fact.
Yeah. But anyway, how's this view? Yeah. Yeah, they're fine to put in. Yeah. So we're just having leftovers for tea. But got some choc chips at Woolies the other day, and I thought we'd do a little choc chip damper for dessert. So I whipped that up really quick. I built that fire up nice and big so it burns down quickly and we get some quick coals. And then we'll wrap this damper up in some aluminium foil and we'll stick it on some coals and have it after tea. So self-raising flour. Should I do a big one or just a little one?
No.
Little one? So roughly like a third or a quarter of your dry ingredients is sugar for a sweet one. We don't use much sugar, so this thing's still bloody full. Oh, and for a sweet damper, I'll use milk. If it was like a damper I'm having with dinner, like a savoury damper, I use water and I put salt in it. You can also put an egg in this, but I won't because I want my eggs for other stuff.
Yeah, that's very good, man.
Bit of milk to bring it together. Want to be able to knead this so you don't want it too wet. Can't go wrong. If it's too wet, you add more flour. If it's too dry, you add more milk.
What you got there?
Choc chips, they're a bit melted.
Oh.
Oh, I always used to do this as a kid. You used to do that? Huh? Oh, I was a pyro.
What, Daddy? What was it, Daddy?
Nothing, your daddy's a pyro.
Tell me, Rich.
Hmm?
Tell me what was it, Daddy?
I'm gonna make you dessert, buddy. Right, that's pretty good. Don't want it too thick because it'll take too long to cook. It's pretty good. Not cutting the whole way through, just about a quarter of the way through.
Daddy, I still do want to help her.
You did?
Yeah,
Alright, I'll get you to help me dust this with flour.
Let's do that flower.
Can you do that for me?
Yeah.
And now on top. And then rub it all over. Perfect. Oh yeah.
Now look inside. What is that? Oh, mommy. Oh, man.
Sort of split that fire so I'll keep all the hot stuff up one end and some coals down here quite thin because I don't want it burning. 20 minutes, half an hour, something like that. We'll check it. Probably have to flip it, I reckon, because there's more heat on the bottom there.
Mom, does I have a taste?
Yep. Only a little bit burnt, but it's delicious.
It looks like a bag of...
Oh, it's delicious. The inside is delicious.
I don't have a taste.
Who cares if it's a little burnt?
Me! So we've left our free camp at Coppin's Gap this morning and now we're just heading into Marble Bar to see what's going on there. So this is like 3 k's out of town, Chinaman Pool. What?
I was just laughing. Cav said, "Hey Google, direct me to Marble Bar coffee shop."
There's no dome or anything in Marble Bar.
Oh, it's a baby.
Yeah, a little calf. Do people swim here?
Apparently.
Oh, it's 2 calves. Oh, there's another one just there. This area is obviously well frequented by cows because there's cow paddies everywhere.
Pretty short.
So cute.
Yeah. Oh, they just legged it.
So short. Yeah. So that was Chinaman Pool. It's only 3 k's out of town here. And then what's next? Marble Bar Pool. And that's about all there is to see in town.
Yeah, and the coffee shop.
There's no coffee shop.
No, there's no coffee shop.
That's probably a nicer spot to swim.
Around Marble Bar there's a few signs saying you're not allowed to collect jasper or chip it off or anything, but they said that there is one spot in town where you're allowed to collect some if you want to take a sample for yourself, the jasper deposit. So we've just taken that road out here just out of town and we're just having a bit of a look. We might take a little piece. Now admittedly we know absolutely nothing about gemstones and rocks and or what jasper is, so we had to Google image to bring up what it looks like, and we think we got some samples with the bands sort of running through them. I don't know if that's jasper or if that's just a big piece of quartz or if jasper is quartz. I don't know. Anyway, we got some rocks, pretty rocks. We just got so close to getting bogged. This stuff is really, really soft and hot. And just managed to get down here and down to 16 psi, lockers on, traction control and all that crap off, low range and just full noise. I just managed to get out.
And I hate getting bugged.
Yeah, me too.
You hate getting bogged?
Yeah.
Same.
So weird because we haven't seen, we've seen one other caravan or camper in like the last 2 days, so we thought we'd have this spot to ourselves, and then we've got here and there's like at least what, 15 other campers. It's packed. But anyway, nice little spot, bit of an oasis out here because it was a really boring drive from Marble Bar, 150 k's, nothing to see, dry sort of barren country. And yeah, there's this massive body of water that's here year round, so I can see why this draws people in from around here. Yeah, boggy though, getting in, real boggy. How's all the bloody, I got half the river sand on my drawbars. I think I was spraying up quite a bit trying to get out. Anywho, we'll set up and then we'll get our floaties on, Chloe, and go for a swim.
Round 1. Fight! Finish him! Fatality.
We've left our little free camp at Karijini Gorge quite early this morning. It's only about 7:30. We were camped down there under the trees on the gorge. It was a beautiful little spot, great for a free camp. I'm just pumping the tyres back up because they were down as low as 16, 18 to get out of that river sand. It was quite soft. Just putting them up to 28, 30 because I've got about 100 k's of gravel left to go before we get to the next bitumenised road. And a few people were wondering, that air compressor, I've had heaps, I've had pretty much every brand name. That's an XTM, a BCF one, they're only 99 bucks. It's probably the best air compressor I've had. I've had ones that are just as reliable, more expensive ones, but this thing's reliable and it's really quick. Really happy with that. The only thing I changed was the end of it. I've put a little trigger gauge inflator on it. That hose is long enough to reach the whole way around the car and do the caravan as well. I undid the plate, the base plate, and I spun it around so I could mount the thing sideways in the back of my canopy, so it's just handy for me. I didn't know how it would go running upside down. I didn't know if there was oil or anything in it, but it's been over a year and it's running really good, so there you go. So what's the go? What are we looking at?
Apparently millions of years ago, a giant glacier slid off the rocks here.
In certain light, you can see these sort of rocky outcrops here sort of reflecting and shining the sun back. So we noticed it yesterday driving in and didn't really know what it was. We saw the road going to it, so we had a bit of a read up. The sun.
On Wikicamp, someone's left a review saying that he was a geologist and it's one of the first things they learn about at uni is this phenomenon.
And he was a lot more excited about it than we are. There you go, polished rocks, glaciers. So this was all ice a couple of million years ago. happens to us all the time. We thought we just finished all the gravel and then we're going to be on to sealed roads because we hit a section of bitumen. So we pulled over, aired up all the tyres for 10 minutes, jumped back in the car. Turns out around the first bend of bitumen, you're straight back onto gravel. So annoying. Luckily this stretch of road's in much better condition. So
well, it's the main highway.
Yeah, this is the main highway between Marble Bar
and Newman.
Yeah, if you go via another job. So we should be right at highway pressures. It's in good nick. But yeah, on to Newman now. We got to sort out getting a permit to stay at the campsite. We want to stay in tonight because we've got to take some mine access roads to get there. So a couple hundred k's of gravel and we'll be there. Tiff told me it was going to be bitumen.
So we just got to Newman because we have to get a permit to go to Kelgan's Pool because the roads into it are owned by BHP. So we've come to the visitor centre, asked for the permit, and she said to me, is there some sort of party happening out there that I don't know about? Because I've literally, no joke, given out about 20 or 30 permits today. And from all the reports we read, there's only space for a few camps there. So we don't really want to go all the way back out there. It's about 50 k's back out, just to find out that it's full. And it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We've been driving since 8:30 this morning. So yeah, we're a bit bummed out. And we're heading out to Karijini tomorrow. So we've sort of, if we go back out that way, we have to come back into Newman again. So it ends up being a 100k round trip. So we're going to... Yeah. Chloe just had a sleep, didn't you? Yeah, you've been a really good girl. Anyway, so there's a rest area on the side of the road. It's about 100 k's away, but it's en route to Karijini, so it means less driving tomorrow. It's opposite a four-wheel drive track that Cam wants to do, Mount Mahari, which I think is the tallest mountain in WA, maybe. So yeah, we'll head there.
So this is home for the night. This is Mount Robinson's, just a little rest stop, 72-hour rest stop, so we'll camp here for the night. We're only 100 and so k's out of Karijini, maybe 200. Wasn't where we planned to stay, but it'll do. So tomorrow, I'm pretty sure that's Mount Mahari, and there's a four-wheel drive track to the top. So we'll leave the caravan here tomorrow morning, and we'll head out there. But for the Savo, Tiff's setting up the caravan. I've got to do a little bit of maintenance to do. The car is just absolutely rattled to shit from the last few thousand k's of corrugations. Things are coming loose, so I've been underneath there and I've tightened up all the bash plates because they were rattling like crazy. I've got to blow out the air filter because that's chockers. Actually, I've got a spare one, I'll stick that in. I'm down on brake fluid and I've been feeling that in the pedal, so I've got to top that up. And also this catch can has been rattling like mad. I could hear it. It was like reverberating through the whole dash, and it sounded like it was something in the dash was loose, but I've isolated it to that, so I've tightened that up and stopped all these rattles and groans and creaks. So I'm happy with that. I'll just change that air filter. And then I always give the wheels a bit of a wobble just to check the wheel bearings. And I was just about to have a look at this one. The cap was on, obviously, but I noticed a little bit of gunk on the outside here with dirt stuck to it, and I thought that looks like wheel bearing grease. You know, all I do just to check the wheel bearings while the wheels are on the floor is I just grab the wheel like that and I give it a bit of a, I don't know if you can hear that, but there's a little bit of play in there, so definitely needs repacking and tightening. There is actually a walk trail behind there to go up to the peak of this thing. It's not a bad little free camp. Anywho, I've just finished. I changed the cabin filter, the air filter, tightened a few loose bolts and shit on the car, and sorted out that, repacked that wheel bearing, and now we're going to have some tea. And it's quite late, so we're just going to have just snacky sort of food. Tiff's going to do some toasted Turkish bread, ham, cheese things on the barbecue, or just on the fry pan. And there's a bit of leftover curry. We'll have that.
Why is this meat up?
Oh, I'll cook that up too. It needs cooking. I'll just cook that meat up, that mince up, and stick it in my curry. Needs eating.
Well, then you don't really need to taste it so much, do you?
Do.
You still want one?
Yeah. Oh, look at this.
No, but I'm having
Have a look at this fella.
Oh, you've been doing that for ages. He's
He's-
obviously not very smart.
He's been hand fed, eh?
No, he wants water.
Oh, yeah.
Desperate for water.
Oh, I'll get him some water then. How cruel are you?
He's a wild animal. He can fend for himself.
Yeah, but I'll get you some water, buddy. Tiff would have you die of starvation, or thirst, sorry.